How many counsellors does it take to change a light bulb? Only one. But the light bulb really need to be in the position where it wants to be changed. It might be a joke, but it's so true that in counselling, the essence of success, or one of the keys to success in counselling, is whether your client wants to change. If your client's being forced into a counselling situation or being forced to come to counselling, your results are not as high as when your client comes out of free will and say, hey, I need help. So when we talk about basic counselling, how do I start counselling with my clients? And this is a question that a lot of students have asked me, is how do I start off? I know we've got basic questions. What brought you here? What do you want to talk to me about? But how do you start the counselling process with a client? So today I just want to have a bit of a chat to you about basic counselling skills or basic counselling. First of all, number one in your counselling relationship is also your environment. A nice, safe environment, closed off, but also safe for you, but safe for the client. It's good if they are, it's not recommended that you counsel in the area where there are no windows. People must be able to see in. Or there must be someone else present on the premises. So don't counsel alone. Don't counsel where there's no one present outside, for your safety, but also for the safety of your client. Also make sure that you as the counsellor sit closest to the door, that you can get out if you need to. Because sometimes we get ourselves into volatile situations. Some of our clients really have issues, especially anger issues or something, and they might be upset. And for your own safety, make sure that that you are close to an exit. Make sure that your exits are not blocked, and make sure it's just a safe environment for you and your client. Also, which is very important, is to build rapport with your client. So how do I build rapport? Rapport is an interesting aspect or an interesting thing. So first of all, your client needs to know that they can trust you. Trust is a key. Trust between you and your client is important. If the client doesn't trust you, they will not tell you what's happening in their life. Trust. How do I make trust? First of all, by being open, by not being a closed person, by being friendly, be warm, be encouraging. Secondly, also, the client needs to know how confidentiality works. So they need to know that whatever they say to you is confidential. The only reason why we break confidentiality is because of maybe the client wants to hurt themselves, they talk about suicide, or the client wants to hurt someone else, or someone's life is in danger, or also when it's court summoned. Know that your records can be asked if there's a court case. So also be aware of how you do your record keeping, because your records might be summoned for a court case. It might be used in a court situation. All right, and it's also important to do some small talk. Start with maybe something lighthearted, something like, how many counsellors does it take to change a light bulb? Or how did you find us today? Or did you get parking easily? Or the easy one, which we always go to, the fallback for everyone, oh, nice weather we're having, or do you think it's going to rain today? Or just start with a normal conversation. Just be normal. Don't be stuck up and stiff. They're not coming to see you because they're in trouble. They're coming to see you because they need to talk to someone. Counselling is like a pilgrimage. Like, we journey with someone, we walk with someone, we're on this journey, we're working together with our client to solve a problem. Counselling is one step beside, one step next to our client. We're not pushing our client, we're not leading our client, we're just walking next to them and being their friend and come next to them and say, I'm here to talk to you, I'm here to help you, I'm here to build rapport with you, but I'm also here to help you to find a solution to the issue that you're facing at the moment. So this is number one for building your counselling situation, or your counselling relationship with your client. Number two is your relationship. What is your agreement with your client? We're calling that, Patricia Clarkson calls that our working alliance. Our working alliance is, how are we going to do this? Each week on a Wednesday for an hour, we're going to talk about specific situations, working alliance that clients needed in this alliance with you to work to get their problems solved. You're going to give your best, but they're also going to come and bring to the table what they need counselling about. So your relationship. We have issues as counsellors which we call transference, counter-transfrence. What is transference? Transference is that feeling of maybe your client starts to get feelings towards you. It might be they're looking for a father figure, and suddenly there's this man who's talking to them and who's wise and gives them time, which they actually wanted in their own father. And suddenly they start to become attached to you. Also, the counsellor needs to be aware of this. Be aware of these feelings of clients happening, and the awareness of what's happening in your client. Pick up the transference. It's easy to pick it up as you go on, as you start to journey in the counselling world. It's easy to find out what's happening in your client, the feelings you get from their transference that they're sending to you. Sometimes something happens in you which is you're wondering, why am I acting this way? Why do I feel like it? Sometimes there might be something like a client will come in and you feel inferior to the client. This is part of the transference thing. So ask yourself, and that's why we have professional supervision or clinical supervision. And this week we go to our supervisors and we say to them, listen, I'm experiencing this with my client. Why is it? And you can just go and examine it and talk it through with your client, or actually with your professional supervisor. When I talk about the professional supervisor, I'm talking about a qualified counsellor who's there for counsellors. A clinical or professional supervisor is not your supervisor at work. It's not your boss at work. It's someone that you go to on a regular basis after you've seen a few clients, to debrief, but also to explain what's happening with your clients. They give you advice, they help you in your counselling process to give the best to your client. So it's essential. It's actually, you can't counsel. The counselling associations require that you have a professional clinical supervisor which you go to from time to time, even if you run your own practice. Even if you speak to a professional clinical supervisor, you'll find out that they have supervisors where they go to. You can't do this counselling job alone. You can't journey alone. You can't be a counsellor on your own. You need other counsellors to support you and carry you in the process. The transference, counter-transfrence is again my reaction to my clients. So if I feel like maybe they're starting to feel they see me as a father figure, how do I respond to them? If I start to counter-transfer to them by saying that, I'm starting to feel, I appreciate what you do to me, I appreciate, and then in the end we might have an issue. So beware of also what's the message or the signals you as a counsellor send to your clients. That's just basic counselling skills. That's basically what's happening in your counselling world. Then we also talk about boundaries. It's important that you set boundaries for your clients. Counselling only happens within these four walls. I don't want you to discuss counselling with me when you see me in the outside. When I walk into Woolworths or Coles, or if you see me in Kmart, don't come to me and say, hey, that thing we talked about in counselling the other day, I did this and I did that. Make sure that your client knows from the start that counselling only happens within the counselling room. Nowhere else but in the counselling room is where we counsel. Set your boundaries. Make sure that don't make your clients your Facebook friends. Don't add your clients on social media. Even once your client relationship has finished, they will always stay your client. We say that a client is your client for life. Legally, a few years you have to keep their contracts, but you have to respect your client's privacy, and you have to respect your confidentiality towards your client for the rest of your life, right? And don't get involved in your clients. Boundaries are important. Also, dual relationships. Dual relationships are dangerous, but there will be a situation in your lifetime as a counsellor that you will be in a dual relationship. What's a dual relationship? A dual relationship is when I know someone from somewhere else, or I know someone that knows my client from the outside world. How do you deal with that? That is also a discussion with your client, and be open with your client. Say, hey, I know that you are friends with this person. I'm also a personal friend with this person, so just be aware that I'm friends with them, and I will not discuss anything that we say in this session with them. I won't discuss you with them, but be open, be honest, be true with your clients. We have nothing to hide, and we're in a journey together with your client. So just be open, be honest at all times with your client. The counselling relationship is a good place to be, and you and your client will decide at some stage when it's time to end this relationship. Some people you'll see for years. Some people you see once a month for years. Some people you see for a short period of time, like a few weeks. Some people you see only once. But it doesn't matter how many times you see your client. Your client's your client. And also we need to make sure that we give our clients the best that we can. You give them yourself. You give your knowledge. Make sure that the use of self is in this process. What's happening in you while you're busy with the client? What are you experiencing? And make sure that your client is number one, especially in that hour when you work with your client. All your focus is on your client in that specific hour. Don't let your mind wander. Don't try and focus on something else or someone else. If they mention something which is an issue for you that you're struggling with, take that issue then to your clinical supervisor. But for that moment, you need to be professional, and you need to switch off from everything around you and just solely focus on your client and who they are and what their needs are. So you're welcome to send me an email if you've got any further questions about the basic counselling process. Just we're a bit touching on CHCCSL 501A, the first learner guide of the course, basic counselling skills. So I hope it helped you a bit in your counselling journey, and feel free to contact me anytime if you've got further questions or there's something else we can talk about. Just have a great day and a great journey, and counselling is great. And there's nothing better and nothing more rewarding than to see lives change as people start to grasp what's happening in their lives and start to deal with stuff in the past and getting rid of baggage and moving ahead and becoming full-rounded whole people. And it's great to know that you play a role in helping someone change their lives. So keep to the basic stuff in counselling. Always be ethical, always be honest, always be open. Make sure you honour your counselling contract. Make sure you honour your verbal agreements. Be aware of your transference, your counter-transfrence. Be open when there's dual relationships. And in the end, everyone will win. Not only you, but your client, who is number one. Remember, as Carl Rogers said, that the person is not the problem, but the problem is the problem. And we're trying to help our client to find out what is the problem and to solve that problem. So, from this side of counselling world, have a good day, and we'll talk again soon.